On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, 21 million downloads. It's quite a number, isn't it? Also, we're going to have that pregame for that whole Gilfest thing everybody's been telling you to go crazy for. So pregame, in fact, they have already announced it, even though it's going to be like 3 more days. Wild, wacky. Speaking of wild, wacky, hi, I'm one of your hosts, Omega, and I will be not rolling 100 LoTTo boxes. With me, as always, is Golden as Pockets Lucky.
Everyone, I hope you're enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka summer classes are over, time to party in New York. And while we here at Studio Mega like to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EM versions of the game, so anyone not wanting spoilers should get ready to flex on some CQs.
Also, this week and next week, prepare for many jokes about American food, especially Borgar.
Borgar.
Hamburger. American. Because, hey, cultural sensitivity. The Japanese are great at it. Spoilers, the Gilfest currency is literally fries, hot dogs, and burgers. And also gold, which will be a source of yet more jokes.
Real talk, I'm not throwing any shade at Japan for doing that, honestly. I'm just like, well, we'll talk about it later, I guess.
We'll go through the whole thing. Today's episode will probably be pretty meaty. We're probably only going to do the hour time limit on Mailbag because we got the pregame at the back end, which means Omega has to try and describe to you the challenge quests, which will be a thing. There are some points in my notes where I just give up and I'm like, there's no way you can do this without a guide. It's not physically possible. But yeah, but also we have some other stuff to talk about. But first, let us remind everybody this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Adam DeHarp, Ohaga Comics, Architect 10, Blacklist OG, Carlos Qua, Jeremy Vasquez, Kylie Denton, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, RogueRobyn, Shawnee P, some guy named Bob, Soda-san, 0424, Saturday23, Video Gamer 75, and Zach Reed. If you like what we do want to see to work, consider supporting on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of free goodies. Everybody helps us out. Thank you for your support, everybody.
Thank you. I got it. Yes, now I can finally drink. Oh.
Yeah, I knew what you wanted. I moved on to the thing. But, yes, and if you was a patrons at a certain level, you could have watched Wanted Gil early, just a day early. That came out already, though. So obviously it'll be well out by the time this goes public, but, just saying. It exists. We'll see how it does. I mean, if we want to do a little inside baseball before we dive into the business, as predicted, Wanted Iskandar the Redux has done about as well as I thought. It's did about as well or better as the old one, but since the old one is the first one on the playlist, that's to be expected, so... Kind of figured it wouldn't, super explode. It's Iskandar, and it was, a repeat of a servant from 2 years ago, so not crazy good. But did get some feedback on it, which is important, and we'll see how that influences Wanted Gil. Though I gotta be honest, I feel like as much as Gil is popular in some respects, some channels, I don't actually know if he's really like a servant people freak out about or anything when he comes up, because the man has a lot of banners. They banner him a lot. He's like 2 a year every year. Nuts. Yeah. Anyway. Now is the good time for Omega to remember which tab the show notes are in. There you go. Found it.
Ayo.
And then to check in with everybody's favorite Kohai Mesh.
Senpai, 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. It's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai, our second for pro tips. It only took us 4 minutes to get here. Hey, this is a tip for everybody playing NA and JP versions of the game, because we're kind of the same app version anyway. Which is both versions of the game have given a news update saying that FGO is not rated for iOS 14 and Android 11, so use it at your own risk. So be careful about upgrading, switching, doing anything brand new. They're still testing it for the new version, okay? So be careful. Do your transfer codes, double check all your stuff, blah-de-blah. Just a little heads up. They felt it was important to mention. I felt it was important to mention. All right.
Ooh, excuse me.
Let us move on to Records from the Throne, a regular achievement topic. Mine's pretty simple. I've protected Caster Giles' smile. And boy, is he smiley.
Yay! Anyway, lucky end, he actually hasn't been with him just knocking out the rerun. He hasn't actually done much of leveling, but he did reach 2K with Tamamo. She is now Tamamo complete. 3 more input levels before she becomes Tamamo perfect. By the way, Lucky's looking at his he completely fucked up spelling everything in here. Like, I'm gonna say, like, when I say she is now Tamamo complete, I actually wrote she is not Tamama. I was like,
yes, wow, okay, I didn't even see that when you were typing that before.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, Lucky is tired. I need to chug more energy drink.
Awaken.
That reminds me, I need to make my awaken emote. It's not gonna be awaken like JoJo, it's gonna be something else, but I need an awaken emote.
Yeah, we don't go around shouting "Awaken my masters."
No.
We were just in a state of awakening constantly. Or we're constantly in a state of falling asleep. What's the difference? Anyway, we'll move on from that. Know all the world's evil. Robin will write something funny here in the timecode.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move to, did you finish your master missions? Which you probably did if you're actually doing lap 2. Because this week, you're going to need to defeat 20 enemies, not servants or bosses. Defeat 40 enemies, not servants or bosses. Defeat 15 heaven attribute enemies. Defeat 15 Earth attribute enemies. Put 1 or more Saber class servants in your party and complete any quest 5 times. So put Sabers in party, do quest. And complete 10 Fate XL0 Order Lap 2 quests. So, yes, do the event.
I literally had to no-brain this, and it was fine.
Yeah, no, if you've actually been playing the game the past week, you have almost assuredly done this. The only thing might be the Sabers, but there are Lancers, so at least you should put some effort into it. I'm pretty sure that's about Saber Deermid, but, whatever. I need to beat up some Assassin Mans, because I'm trying to round out 90 missions, by the way, kids. Almost done. I have been super slow-boating this.
Lucky has the power of people watching him do stuff to thank for him completing it.
But that's good. But yeah, I'm still powering through, because I'm doing lots of other things. But we're working on it. It'll get done. It's fine. And mostly I'm just slow-rolling the missions. Like, I got most of the shop cleared. Like, I got all the statues, I got all the EXPs, I got all the foes. I'm just working my way through the last bit of mats and the last couple of mana prisms. So it's not like it's a huge break for me. I'm just not necessarily doing all the stuff yet to complete all the missions. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's a rerun. I got my crystallized lore already. It's fine. I think there's new CQs for this. I don't really care that much.
Meh.
But, yeah. It's a big whatever. On the other hand, all the free QP. I think I made 1 million QP off an exchange of coins I no longer needed at one point. Like Berserkers or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, Zero XL's pretty good. Sorry. I think I talked about this in the pre-show, but not yet on air. But Omega had some spicy chicken for lunch today, so
spicy.
It sticks with you a little bit. Okay, let's move into the news. This is where we do, like, the song and the transitions and stuff to a desk. Anyway, in the Japans, everybody wondering what Japan was going to do. I guess it was 21 million downloads. Yes, they're doing 21 million downloads from 9/7 to 9/14. So, in addition to all those big boy numbers they're doing, they've got the usual consecutive and cumulative login rewards. Hey, you want 10 of things? Here you go. Also can get some gold foes in the cumulative logins and stuff. The things everybody likes. We also got new extra master missions. So reach Final Ascension with 1, 3, and 5 of each class. Extra class counts as 1, thank God. Because otherwise that would be really, really hard. But you get 3 SQ per mission for a total of 72 Saint Quartz. They just love their little Saint Quartz drops.
Yeah, I do too.
So, yay, that's really goo. And these are indefinite, by the way. They're just like completing story, free quests, rank ups, whatever. They just go in your extra missions tab forever if you haven't done them already. That said, I'm pretty sure anybody playing the game right now in English will almost assuredly have reached this point by the time 2 years go by, and I'm pretty sure everybody who's been playing the game since launch, like us, has already hit all these.
Yeah.
Like, especially since extra counts as 1, I definitely own more than 5 extra class servants who are at Final Ascension. And if you're concerned about this, just roll more FP. There's plenty of 3 stars and below. You'll get all that done except extras. But even then, there's some welfares and stuff. I think those all count. There's also some timed missions, which you can give you mana prisms and statues of various kinds. There's a whole list, but I don't think it's a big deal because it's, still in Japan. And it's been out for a while. But yeah, you can check that out. Also, I just realized in my notes, I was just checking, apparently we're on the 3rd version of the Moonlight Lost Room campaign. I don't know why they keep doing that.
Well, I think they said they're on their... I think they noted something about they did the final update, so there should be no more coming out. Because they were doing rapid fire updates for a while with new costumes. I don't know if they added new songs. They also added a AR camera app, so you could have match
there's
dancing
the AR
on
camera
there.
version, and I believe that a lot of the new outfits also came with new songs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know if I'll ever get that, but I want
oh,
it.
though the good thing about this, though, this ties into something else we're going to talk about in this one, because that also added the first servant, the MASH command code, to the Rare Prism shop. So you can buy one with, 5 Rare Prisms? Yeah, 5 Rare Prisms gets you one of that command code. And also, with 21 million downloads, they added personal coaching back to the RP shop, which, I don't think we have that one yet.
Personal coaching?
No, I don't think we got that one, because that's got a character who's not introduced yet in NA, so it would make sense. Pretty sure that's, like, the end of this year is when that one comes out. Because we haven't seen that character yet. But, and also some old CCs were added to the MP and RP shop, which are relevant to the event we're about to do. Now, this is an important question for the fans, because I don't know this. Can you buy these command codes even if you already own them? I assume it's like when you can unlock old CEs with Rare Prisms. Like, technically, you could unlock stuff you've already bought all the copies of to get a second set.
We got people saying no in the chat.
IRC, no. Okay, all right. That's a horrible shame, especially since one of those was in the MP shop. I get what they're doing for, like, stuff that doesn't have reruns, but just give me more fucking command codes! Stop making them unique! Stop it! Stop it! Just insert me booping Delightworks with a newspaper now. I still haven't used any command codes because they're so rare. Though, shout out to people who have gone apeshit with command codes. I have seen several of my support lists with, level 100 grailed units that are fully kitted out. That's pretty bananas, even if they're just generic ones. But, so, let us know in the comments for sure, if you can, like, prove any of this, but, even so, that's still good if you're worried about missing something, or did miss something. But also, this is a 1 million downloads campaign. It does what you would expect. Double chance of Great and Super Suck, half AP Embers, half AP Rank Ups, quarter AP on Story up to Atlantis, half AP on Story up to, Story on Olympus. So, it's a lot.
This is a lot. Yeah, this is a lot.
So, this is probably a good excuse to catch up on any new units you've gotten, either from this download campaign or during summer. And also, it sure sounds like they're preparing for a story-locked event. Boy, does it. Now, the hilarious thing is that a lot of the units that they've put on the rate-up for this were valid in the summer that just passed. It makes me wonder about timing. But another thing they did is a quality of life. The present box slots increased to 400. You can now store 400 things. Yay.
I guess that is the biggest branch strats is just hold those, 100 embers in the present box. Don't take up space. And wait. I was talking to some people. Some people do have some wild strats for how they deal with things. I'm not really going to get into it, but...
No, but there are some people... We're talking about Gilfest today, obviously. Both the announcement and the pregame, so you know what you're getting into. But being a LoTTo event, people go a little bananas, and so many of them come up with many strategies to do the most optimal stuff, and present box camping is definitely one of them. Mm-hmm. But we also got 2 reindeer rank ups. Not a full campaign, that makes sense, they just had one for anniversary, but we got a couple extras in there. So first up, Lancer Lee's Pierce skill, which is also his art steroid, had its cooldown reduced, straight up reduced by 1 turn, and now also generates 5 to 15 stars. Good for him, I guess. And Wu, good old Empress Wu, her torture technique now is increased to do 20 to 30% defense down. It does buff block for 3 turns, 1 time, and adds 500 to 1,000 burn damage for 3 turns. Really, I think diversifying. I think that better defense down is good for assassins who often have lower damage, and continues to double down on the theme that assassins tell you to get fucked with buffs. And also, burn is an unusual DOT for assassins, and I believe, doesn't her NP poison?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, gives her more dot to kind of stack together, do some fun stuff together. Really interesting. The summoning campaign is Mothman. You also got Lancer Lee, Consort Yu, Wu. They're right together to each other. Thanks, China. Jinkei and Lubu. A lot of ooh sounds. So this rate up is either great or sucks because it's got a couple of story-locked 4 stars on it. I believe there is a rotation for the 4 stars, but still, that could be very dangerous. I can especially see some people trying to scratch off Lee or Consort Yu on their list and getting spooked by Wu. But if you've missed your Mothman opportunity, the time is now. Now, if only they'd put red hair in there. Alas, alack. I don't make these decisions. But that's it for that. And that's still got a few days left, so we'll see what happens. I'm assuming new event. You know, we're buying time for something. Maybe we'll get some details so you can spend some of those embers on something.
Are they gonna have like a China-related event?
I don't know. There could be some reason for that and stuff that we're not talking about, but also I thought they said that the next kind of halfway would be 4.5, like it was supposed to be the bridge between, because
that's India, right? India and
India into Atlantis is what I thought was the bridging that, because they talked about how OQ Labyrinth, there's the name, that was kind of a bridge from 3 to 4. So I know some people are like, oh, we'll do another, but I'm thinking, no, I'm pretty sure they said it would be the bridge between 4 to 5 that they just didn't cover because 5 was fucking huge. They basically prioritized getting that out. They had to break it into 2 chapters. It was so freaking long. So it sounds like we're going to kind of go back and hit up some lingering plot threads maybe from that stuff. I don't know. It could also just be that a lot of these units were relevant during the summer event because Summer Consort U, and we're kind of just being like, bringing them back, bringing up those opportunities, etc. I don't know.
Who knows? Like he doesn't.
So we'll see in a few days, because I'm pretty sure they won't do more Dead Air. This is already arguably Dead Air. You know, it's just bonus farming, but it does have story catch-up in it, so spicy.
Spicy!
We could also be in for, it is autumn, obviously. We're about to do our festival. We're in for another festival. By the way, Internet, you may have seen a quote-unquote Okita Fez leak that has been disproven to be false. It was super fake. The rumor was that there was an FGO project tweet that got quote-unquote deleted. It wasn't. No, that's dumb. Everybody would have seen it if that was true. Somebody just mocked up a screenshot. Not that I am opposed to Okita Fez, just saying it was fake. It's fake news, guys.
Actually, I think we question in our mailbag.
Yeah, I believe that somebody did ask about what Fezes we would like. I don't know. We'll get to there when we get to Mailbag, which will be soon, because we just have one little bit of North American news. They have already gone ahead and announced Battle in New York 2020. So interestingly, we talked about this last week. The graphic designers redesigned it so it just says Battle in New York, no subtitle, because it was in Japanese and English before. They just made it bigger and changed it to 2020. This will run from 9/14 to 9/29.
Solid 2 weeks.
Yes, which also I'm pretty sure once again means that we'll probably get that Halloween rerun right after, like I predicted. Maybe we'll get some gap, but we'll be right into October at least.
Couple days of gap, maybe.
Yeah. You know, there might need to be some maintenance in there, who knows. But anyway, there's no news article yet, but luckily we're doing a pregame anyway, so we'll fill you in on some of the stuff we know. This is a Neurofest type event. There will be 3 tiers with time gates, so basically one set of events, after a period of time, new set of events, etc. It is a LoTTo event. We'll discuss more about what that means later. The banner, though, should be Gilgamesh. They've confirmed him, because he's being shown off. They did his thing and everything. Sheba and Caesar, plus CEs. And we'll be discussing more about this after the break for Mailbag, which at a solid 20 minutes is probably good for right about now, as I adjust my headphones. So, yeah.
No, Metal Tyranny King. The interlude campaign is between the Halloween rerun and New Halloween.
Yeah, we discussed some of this last week.
Yeah.
I can actually check, but we can also just, flash back to last week. But yeah, there should be some gap events, weeks, whatever you want to call it, upcoming, but so September is, the only thing is we're potentially missing the FGO arcade promotions, but what it should go is it should be Battle in New York directly into Himeji Castle rerun, and then the week between that and Oniland will be Interlude Campaign Part 7.
Also, Tyranny King Mom, remember, November is when we're getting Sin or Quinn or whatever. That is definitely not a gap.
No. Yeah, November's not a gap month, because it should, and actually it's a little weird. Oniland actually started late, so it actually ran into November. We probably won't have that problem. Mm-hmm. But November will have there will be 15 million downloads, so Abigail's banner and some new stuff. There will be the Merry Christmas from the Underworld rerun, and then there will be a pre-release for Lost Belt 3 and then Lost Belt 3. Which the Lost Belt 3 release ran into December in JP. I expect basically it will be wholly contained in November for us.
Yes.
Or at the very least, the amount of overlap will be very small because we're a couple of weeks ahead.
Yes. That's what I mean by this is not going to be a gap month. Yes, because technically in JP, it was at the end of the month.
Yeah, you're gonna see a decent amount of packed reruns in the next couple of months before the year ends, but there will still be a decent amount of new content fairly frequently, with a little bit of breaks, which is good, because sometimes you need to relax. I think somebody also asked a question in Mailbag about burnout. Speaking of which, let's do Mailbag.
Let's do Mailbag! So, Lucky is completely grabbing the mic from Omega, and he's taking over. So, this week's Lex Talk FGO Mailbag. I was able to get it out on time. Just maybe some delays. But whatever. We're not here for that. We have, let's see here, let's count them. 32. Oh, excuse me. Carbonation. It got me. It got me. It got me like a knife in the back. We have 32 lovely, lovely entries today. But unfortunately, we only have 1 hour. So, Lucky's gonna get the timer. He has the timer. And we start right now. So our first one comes from your left, which is actually your right. And they say, Dear Lucky Omega, so Serenity, Semiramis, and Arash drink Shootin's wine. Can any of them take a couple swings without catch in the sudden case of deaths? So, the highest level answer is yes. Technically, Shootin's wine is just the poisonous wine that Radko gave her. In the legend, it doesn't outright kill her, it just weakens her.
Hence why it, in the NP form, gives you all the debuffs.
Yes. Now, again, this also is the same wine that Shootin uses for her Noble Phantasm. I can't remember the land. It's like the multicolor something poisonous Oni Sake something. So, technically, yes. If she's using it to try and kill you, yes, it probably can. But if she just passes it to you, because I actually did a little reading on this wine has literally become, the sake has become Shootin's favorite. And that is a very Shootin thing in my mind. Oh, this is the wine that led to my death. Excellent. It's now my favorite.
I mean, it's really good sake, though, is I think the point.
Yeah. But, yeah, so as long as Servant has some decent poison resistance, yeah, they'll probably be okay.
So specifically, Arash has the skill toughness, which includes an outright poison resistance. So much so that he appears in fragments with Serenity and is fine. So, yay for him. I believe Serenity, because she is a Vishakanya, a poison girl, she is immune to her own poison. I don't know how that applies to other poisons. And I don't think Semiramis actually outright has any poison resistance. She just knows about poisons and potions. A fun one to add in here actually would be upcoming Servant Bradamante, because one of her skills is a hybrid that includes toughness.
Oh, interesting.
So, she would also actually have a very robust health.
Well, there's actually, I don't know how true this is in actual medicine and whatnot, but there is a thought that if poisoned, you can often cure a poison by introducing a stronger poison or something. I can't remember what the exact wording on it, but in Serenity's case, that might be something. If she has a stronger poison than Shootin's, she might be able to nullify Shootin's poison, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that. It's just something I remember hearing somewhere. It's half-baked knowledge. Don't rely on it. But anyway, thank you. Your left, which is also your right, for your question. We're going to move on to Isekai FBI, who says, Hey, Omega and Lucky, are you members of the NTR cult? No. Are a Sundari Lolly? No. No? If not, answer this question. Does debuff success rate work on NPs? Like, for example, does Cass Gill's debuff success rate work on Parvati's charm on her NP? Like, does it increase from the 60 to 90% with Cass Gill's third skill? I was just wondering because I will get her with the SR ticket in November and I want her to charm constantly because she can loop her NP easily. Sorry, Reddit won't allow me to post this for some reason, so I resorted to ask the gods themselves. Arigateks.
I'm gonna say probably, because, as far as I know anyway, because yes, charm is a mental debuff, and, then, as a result, increases to mental debuff success, because it's, percentage based for Parvati, that all stacks together, like stacks with like kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I assume so. That's what I got. That's all I know.
Yeah, I would assume so. But Isekai FBI, thank you very much. We move on to a hunter hiding away from lethal Santas. Who says, so jokes are the biggest lore, and Santa servers usually are some of the biggest jokes. So I ask you, an Omega, what servant you would like to see at a normal Santa version. Let your beautiful minds go wild, and if possible, what would be the hilarious events that lead them to becoming Santa? P.S. I do have my OD, but because of guideline number 3, I'll save that for the comment section of the upcoming episode. Look forward to your ideas. So Lucky does have an idea. Omega, do you have an idea off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, no.
Okay, so here's mine. I would love a Christmas event between Medea Lily and Medea where they basically enact the versions of the Nutcracker with Medea's models.
That would be pretty funny. That's
Yeah.
way better than me just throwing out that I... Because I realized when I said no, I don't have an idea. I mean, technically off the top of my head I do, but I don't have any of the extra fluff that goes with it. I'm just upset that there wasn't Santa Medea and regular Santa Medea.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this constant masterwork Medea Lily nonsense. Give me regular Medea.
Yeah, but my idea would basically be it's kind of Medea Lily's, a wish for, for like some sort of event like this. And, just because she is, that high level magic, it does some weird singularity stuff. And so now you have a Nutcracker with like, maybe Jason and like all the others, the Argonauts in there. And stuff. I don't have like any real high bad buzz. I thought about it real quick. I was like, no, that'd be cool. Medea, models, Christmas, Nutcracker. I don't think we've really ever touched the Nutcracker on any of our...
No, not outright. I also don't know if... Because we've talked about this, Christmas is a different thing for Japan. I also don't know if outright that would be as much of a cultural touchstone. Though, obviously, FGO does do research about stuff.
Yeah. What are like Christmas touchstones? Well, actually, I don't want to.
I'll say this: I don't really know what the theme was per se, but the last Christmas seemed to be a combo joke between Christmas angels and frickin' Mary Poppins, y'all. So I don't know. They can go far afield. They've already done the Samba Santa joke upcoming this year. Make sure to do it. There's no rerun yet.
Heck. Anyway, so a hunter
also,
hiding.
By the way, I don't want to take. Maybe you should pause the timer real quick.
All right, I'll pause the timer real quick.
If only just for the 60 seconds it take me to say this, but if what happens after 21 million downloads is the fucking Samba rerun, I'm gonna laugh so hard. That is gonna be so silly. But yeah, no, that was just a thought that struck me suddenly. So, we should resume.
And we resume. So thank you, Hunter, hiding away from Lethal Santas. We move on to that guy who exists, now reminding everyone to hydrate. And they say, hey, look at Omega, I have a question, but don't take it serious. Please don't take it seriously. How do you think the Lightworks chooses what servants to give interludes and buffs? I personally like to think to throw darts at a dartboard. Anyways, I hope you guys and everyone listening has a good week. How do they choose?
I gotta be honest, I don't know. It's probably a combination of thinking about who's had buffs recently, not overall. Especially we've seen them buff units many, many times, multiple times. I assume they have, like, play testers and other stuff who, like, work through what the buffs do. So, there may be a cycle where, for instance, with something like, Wu or Lee, they may have been working on those buffs leading up to now, and just because they weren't ready yet, they slotted them into 21 million downloads. I gotta be honest, I don't know, and I don't know if we ever have any way to know how they decide who gets worked on. Like, do they just have a checklist they cycle through? I don't know. I don't know what their background dev cycle is. We don't even necessarily know how they decide when and how to release new servants or start developing new servants, other than just sometimes people have ideas.
Lucky Bets is just Nissan who's playing the game, who's using a servant and goes, this isn't doing what I wanted to do, and then yells at someone on the dev team. Anyway, so that guy who exists, now reminding everyone to hydrate. Thank you very much. We move on to Disciple of the Church of Gotcha, who says, question, hey you two, as always, hope you had a good week, both in FGO and in life. Now my question, if all the servants were real people alive today without the powers and such, just plain old humans, which do you think would be likely to end up in the news for either a good or bad reason?
Well, there's almost 300 of them, so I kind of want to file this under shit I don't know. However, there are definitely a couple of people who would probably stand out, so the problem is I feel like whenever anybody asks these fucking questions, we always say the same people. I'm like, Nero's a lunatic egomaniac. She'd probably end up on the news somehow.
I would also put Gil and Ozzy in that same category.
Gil and Oz similarly.
Caster Giles, Guys and Jack would probably end up on the news as well for murder.
Yeah, literal serial killers. Yes.
Yeah.
They would probably go, well, here I go killing again.
Yep. Piracy has kind of gone down.
No, it would be internet piracy. Fucking Blackbeard would start his own torrent site and get arrested by, like, the French or something.
Yeah, no, I see that. But I'm talking about, like, Drake and Anne and Bonnie, Marticandi, I can't pronounce his name. He's not out yet. Heck. Let's see. Herc might make into some fucking weightlifting competitions. Maybe. But other than that, no. It's like personality-wise, there's a lot of people who are, good, decent people, but they're kind of normal and not, like, crazy. It's like think of Knights of the Round. Yeah, there's, like, as servants, they're crazy people, but their personalities are kind of low-key. It's like they're funny and entertaining, but, like, Gawain, he's a good son boy. Normal person, he'd probably work out, go to the beach, and hit on women a lot. Like, same with Lancelot. Tristan would be their fucking college nerd buddy. Bedivere too. So, yeah, no, I think we hit most of the touchstones there. So, but we don't want to spend too much time on this, so we are going to move on. So thank you, Disciple of the Church of Gotcha. We are going to move on to Ponfling-kun, who says, "Hey, Lucky Nemega, Ponfling-kun here. Please put your alias at the beginning before your question. You've been asked a couple times what servants are underappreciated or aren't given that much love. Almost no appearances on story and events, interludes, etc. But I wanted to ask the opposite. What servants do you think appear way too much? Chaldean regulars like Da Vinci and Holmes don't count. Thanks as always, and hope you're having a great day or night. Goodbye." Oh, let's see.
Well, I mean, so there's a couple who specifically mentioning interludes. There are some servants I feel like have too goddamn many interludes, but I wonder if there's a good way to check who even has interludes. Like, is there a no, there's not really a good list, is there? No, because, like, the wiki breaks them up by where they show up, so I don't even know. But I think Gil has, like, 3 interludes or more. I know Jean has, like, 3 interludes, only one of which actually matters. And while I get that there's, like, a recurring subplot, at the same time, it definitely feels kind of like, okay, guys, must you? I like Jean and all, but do we want to keep doing this cycle? But otherwise, I don't really feel like there's any characters who particularly show up too much. I don't know. Lucky, do you have anybody you're like, I'm sick and tired of seeing this person. Go away.
No, just by the status of Lucky being Lucky, he really never thinks that someone shows up too much. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, no. Like, Lucky usually is all, like, I guess on the most technical of technicalities, I would have to say Nero. Nero's had multiple events. She shows up in stories constantly. Multiple servant versions.
Well, yeah, but she is also a headliner character. But also, that's the funny thing, is that they kind of cycled her out, Yeah. She will have a much smaller role in Gilfest as it stops being Nerofest.
Yeah. But as I said, that's like I'm saying on the technicalities of technicalities. Because, like, we say that, but I think she's the only character who has 2, not besides Mash, who has 2 costumes.
Currently, yes.
Yes.
Though Mash has technically 3 costumes, because she's got 2 swimsuits and orchesks.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, that obviously, though, leaves it open to the possibility that they will redo or add additional costumes, which is nice.
Yes.
Do I want to use 3 command spell? No, I'll just do this again, and I'll hope to God, and I won't find somebody with an AoE assassin or something. I'm getting beat up by Wind Diary right now, and it's very frustrating, but team comp is not something that Zero Axel is good at.
Do you want me to put an AoE assassin on there?
No, it's fine. It's really not that big of a deal. I probably should do an AoE caster instead and just field a regular assassin. There's only one rider in there. It's just, I got bullied a little in the last wave. Whatever, I'll work on it. We'll see what's in my friends list. I think my friends list is back to full after I announced I purged it. Oh, hey, well, there's a Semiramis right at the top. Never mind.
Ew. Anyway, so thank you, Ponfling-kun. We move on to the lawyer representing Nero in the Nero Gilfest tournament lawsuit.
Spoilers, that's just gonna be a fight. There's no lawsuit.
And they say, "Dear Champion Lucky and final seat before the Champ Omega. Simple question. who would you want to host a future Neurofest or Gilfest style event?
Okay, first of all, I don't like the assertion in this alias here or this startup.
Yeah.
But anyway, honestly, talking about the Okutafez leak, while that definitely sounds like a more Gouda thing, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Lucky will say what the common people say, and he would love an Aussie Fest.
Yes, as a especially because they've done some jokes about like a Winter Pharaoh and all that stuff. Like they've done some fun things with Oz. You could have Nito as the lotto keeper. You can Nito Nitos. No, Omega never gets tired of doing that joke. I love the using names as verbs and nouns. Same thing, like buffalo, 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 buffalo. Which might not
Sheba
be
and Sheba Shebas.
Yes, correct.
That's what we're gonna be.
I made that joke last week.
Yes.
So yeah, Ozfest would be a good one, good solid one. I'm trying to think. Really good. I mean, again, talking about servants who are underplayed, I feel like they've underused Vanilla Artoria a lot. Especially, well, I mean, she got a summer version, but Lancer Artoria, you could do, Camelot Fez. Though in that case, I'm betting the shop would be Merlin, being a funny man.
Oh, no. If we're gonna say that, then I want a Drake Fest with Blackbeard as the shopkeeper.
Pirate Fez. Hey, it's come back.
Yeah.
That would be pretty good. There are a lot of pirate servants. You could do some decent jokes and references in there, and a lot of people, I believe, really like Blackbeard, especially after Summer 3. That could be fun.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't count. That doesn't exist. Though if they wanted to just do the Olympics, and who knows, they might be. They just might have to think about the fact that was delayed.
Heck.
Because I know that we did called a Summer Games art contest here in the States, funnily enough. But yeah, there's some interesting ones. I'm pretty sure they won't be doing it anytime soon because he just popped up on 21 Million. But Mothman Fest, China Fest. There's a lot of Big Boy King figures you could do some funny stuff with. I think Oz is definitely like he said, the people's champion.
Mm-hmm. But I think we'll leave it there and we'll move on. So thank you, the lawyer representing Nero in the Nero Gilfest tournament lawsuit. We move on to a girl who wanted Waver and got Enkidu instead. And they ask, what is the worst or most frustrating spook during your summonings? For Lucky, it was back over like maybe a year and a half ago. It was around Valentine's even. Excuse me. Brennhilder was on Raid Up. Lucky, I think this is the point. I think this was literally the point where Lucky broke his I'm not gonna spend money rule, because and rolling for Brennhilder, he got 2 Fions. Because, like the fucking animals that they are, they put, an SSR Lancer on Raid Up with an SSR Lancer. And it was just like,
Yeah, they do that a lot.
So yeah, no, that broke Lucky a bit.
I think Fion only shows up on banners with other Lancers, usually. He might show up on one of the Benny Enma banners, not with a Lancer, but still. Speaking of Lancers, that's probably me. I pulled, Enkidu, first pull, trying to get a Resh. Which is not that Raid Up. So, that was a little, it was a little spiced. Enkidu had to sit in the corner for a while. But I did get my Aresh, so it's not a fucking crime. Honestly, usually I don't go crazy with I don't usually get bone-shaking spooks. When I'm most demoralized, I usually get absolutely fucking nothing. So, I don't think I've had any other serious ones other than literally spooked by Enkidu rolling for Aresh.
I once got spooked by Jack rolling for Shoot Him, but I like Jack, so I was all like, I should be mad, but I can't be. But that's about it. Anyway, I think we should move on. So thank you, a girl who wanted Waver and got Enkidu instead. We move on to the guy who hasn't got his ASMR fixed lately, who says, hey guys, how's the mailbag segment going? Funny if this mail is first. It's not.
It wasn't.
Question. After the story ends, you, the MC, can go home to Japan finally. Who would be the servant you incarnate? With consent, of course, and how would your life be? Love your contact as I pass the time. I would take my Kohai, Mash.
You don't have to incarnate Mash. She can just go. She can just leave now. She's allowed because of stuff.
Yeah. Yes. We are going to enjoy whatever. I don't even know how old we're going to be at this time.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm like, I don't think we have enough information about this.
Yeah.
Does Fujiwara Ritsuka have to go to college now? Do we have to go to cram school? But we're a mage. Maybe we don't have to go to college? Do we just become neat? I don't know.
Are they going to slap a ceiling designation on us? Because, boy howdy, we shouldn't be able to have done what we've done. Heck. Who knows? Anyway. But as I said, no, as much as I love servants, give love to, dance with the partner you came with, alright?
Pretty simple life advice.
Yeah.
I suspect some people will think differently about that question, but yeah, no. Yeah.
Alright, but thank you, the guy who hasn't gotten his ASMR fixed lately. We will move on to the Law of Equivalence Exchange, who says, hey guys, so my question for this week is, what is more important? Oh, hang on. Drinking energy drinks makes me a little burpy and breathy, so.
No, I understand. You gotta
So they
fight.
say, hey guys, so my question for this week is, what's more important to making your teams more efficient? Getting a new servant or improving the MP level? Well, for Lucky, like,
I mean, for efficiency, probably NP level, but generally, I don't know, this might be what Lucky's about to say. Generally, I'm not super concerned with making my teams more efficient. I just want shiny servants.
Yeah. Like, as I said, Lucky subscribes to the arts meta, everyone knows this, so generally in making team comps, I try to focus on maybe getting servants that support that, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I like the servant, I'm getting them. Are they gonna be level 1 for a while? Probably. But I don't care. I have now servants. Like, and again, there are some servants where their MP isn't necessarily what you want them for. Like, heck, like, remember, like, people weren't popping Merlin and Scotty for their MPs. It was usually for those skills.
Yeah, no, technically all those pro Scotty players never want to see her NP because that's wasting a card slot or whatever.
Yeah.
So
necessarily NP levels.
Conversely, if you want to make double Scotty work, you really need multiple NP levels on your servants, like a Lancelot.
Yeah. Like, honestly, again, like, this isn't a question I can answer with either A or B. It is literally both, depending on what you're trying to do. It's like, on what people don't like hearing this, but there is not a one answer fits all solution to this.
Mm-hmm. That said, asking us, because they say making our teams, if I am going for efficiency, technically I want multiple NP, but I never roll for efficiency.
Yeah, no. And as I said, my teams, like, again, I don't roll for efficiency. If it can't work, I will just slap in something I do work, because Lucky doesn't roll for multiple NPs because that's expensive. That's fucking expensive. I don't have that money. Like Lucky's technically a whale, as in I spend way too much money on this game, but I only spend this much money usually to get one copy of a servant. I almost never spend money to get an MP2 version of a servant. If I get MP2 versions of a limited servant, that's because I was very, very lucky.
That, or it's summer and you're going apeshit for 4 stars.
Yeah, and I'm going apeshit for 4 stars.
Which usually in our community is what happens to people. Like, while I have seen some whales on my support list lately, who have multiple NP5s of limited SSRs, cool. They're very clearly spending a lot of money for that perfectionism. But generally, even with our community whales, what I see is people who start yelling and screaming about how they've gotten, like, 5 BBs trying to get just one Maeve or something.
Yeah.
As a hypothetical example.
Mm-mm. So, again, no, team efficiency is not really a thing. As I said, I work on art, if Lucky usually uses what he got. He doesn't roll because he's like, oh, this would be good to my team. I'm rolling because usually they have big titties, or they thick, or they're absolutely utterly adorable. That's it.
Okay, let's go. Let's move.
We move on. So thank you, the Law of Equivalent Exchange. We move on to Alias Fluffy Pekko. Question: What is your favorite verbal tick in FGO, Pekko? Verbal tick. And it is a very good.
Wait, hold on. Do I have an Umu button? I think I bet I do. Hold on. I gotta look at my thing. Keep talking.
Never mind. Lucky needs to make some buttons for him. But,
I do. Alright, I did it like twice. I'll stop.
Nice. Let's see here.
I'm trying to think, what even are FGO's famous? I guess, yeah. I think you actually said that before, that somebody mentioned Lee's kaka. You actually said you liked that before, I believe.
Oh yeah, because
that is a verbal tick.
Yeah, because he's laughing, but he's being very hard and forceful with it, like kaka. It's great.
He also tends to do it at the end of sentences for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, no, I don't know too many besides our famous Umu.
It's not really.
Tamamo has a very idiosyncratic way of speaking, but I don't think she has like a proper verbal tick. It's just she speaks like an absolute lunatic. If you think about it,
That's the thing. It's like, I don't think I like particular verbal things, but I like particular speech styles. Like, I like Tamamo and her complete bastardization of classic and modern terms. I like Osakawa Hime for her constantly slamming words together. And I like Tamacat because Tamacat's just a fucking lunatic. She just talks about, like, just completely nonsensical things.
I mean, technically, I don't really know if Mikon's really a verbal tick. It's just
a catchphrase.
Yeah, it's a word she added. Like technically you could say cat, the fact that cat barks, that Tumbo Cat says one, which is the Japanese automatopoeia for bark, bark, bork, bork. That could be a verbal tick, but she also says other things because, as Lucky pointed out, Cat is a absolute lunatic, a literal madwoman. So yeah, I don't know, there's a couple. And Dante's I don't know if Kuhaha is actually a verbal tick. He's just literally laughing. Nobu does a great, being obviously the voice actor, but he can bust that laugh out anytime.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of voices that I like, and a lot of speech styles that I like, but I can't, like, I keep trying to think of it. I can't think of someone who has an actual, like, verbal tick. Like...
Which, yes, and that is a definitely Japanese thing, is the adding thing, making the Peko joke.
Mm-hmm.
Peko. Several other VTubers have that kind of affectation. You may also remember, if you are an old school-ish anime nerd from the past, 20 years or so, you may remember Naruto's Tetibayo, which was we usually translated as believe it, really annoyingly, but also, honestly, in Japanese, was probably that annoying. Just an affirmative participle to reemphasize the statement we just made.
Do we have a Nano in here at all? That's one of my favorite ones in anime, is when it's just like the small girl just ends her sentences with Nano.
Don't think so. It doesn't come to mind.
No. Or the super polite girl who just ends everything with desu.
Yeah, the very formal way of speaking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we got any heavy desu.
Yeah, no. So yeah, no.
Leave your favorite verbal ticks in the comments if you have them.
Yes, please. Lucky could just be an idiot and can't remember them. Anyway, but we spent way too long on this, so thank you, Fluffy Peko. We move on from the woman who got blessed by Iskander. And they say, "Hey guys, I was doing strike things early in JP and something popped in my mind. A question to be exact. The question itself is the following. What servant would you like to get an interlude if they don't already have one? I would like..."
No, I'm just thinking, again, the whole... I don't want to say don't do this, but please think before you ask questions like this about the fact that there's like 300 units. Because, at least in... I don't even know. Who would I want to have an interlude who doesn't have one? Lucky, you had an idea. Go for it. Sorry.
I know Otamo has had interludes and rank ups. But I would still like her to have more. I would like her fucking have another interlude just so I can get some more Tama time.
That's a fair one. There are a couple of units like that who...
Honestly, personally, I don't know, like, fucking Geronimo just needs an interlude that just redoes his entire skill kit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, certainly something, I guess, could be, like, but this is asking you specifically about interludes. While there's mechanically a lot more interludes I'd like, I'm trying to think, who would I want to, like, spend more time with? I mean, there's some very brand new servants, I guess, in JP who obviously don't have interludes yet, but we don't have those either, so we haven't met them, so I don't know. But out of a lot of recent servants, I don't really think there's anybody who I'm like, oh, I want to hang out with them more. Obviously, that I can't.
Does Bunyan have an interlude?
Probably not, because they've rerun her event like 4 times. I'm exaggerating, it's only 3.
I said, I do love me some Bunyan.
They could, I suppose, come up with a further context, for some of these guys. I don't know. Interludes are interesting and sometimes weird, because especially early in the game, there were St. Court's interludes, and sometimes they're still all, but there were a lot of St. Court's interludes that were about fucking nothing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you own this servant, here's a free interlude, somebody wrote a dumb story over the weekend or something. Now occasionally they remember to write them either to do quartz or to actually, like, address ongoing stuff, like, Mordred has, I think, a couple of interludes at this point, which are usually about her actual, honest-to-gosh, character development. But, yeah, I mean, this requires me to remember everybody who has interludes. Well, I mean, Kama was a big story star. I don't know if does she need an interlude? What are you gonna do? You just gonna hang out? Actually, does Kiara have any interludes? She does, doesn't she? Because she's got like 4 breakups. No, she only has 3. I'm exaggerating again, but almost everything Kiara has been buffed. So, probably at least one of those was in interlude form, wasn't it?
Okay, so clearly what we need a comma interlude interacting with Kiara, and a Kiara interlude interacting with comma. And at the end, you have to put them both in the get along shirt.
That would be pretty funny. Or they do the CG like Azure Lane did, where Amagi just beats up Kaga and Akagi.
Mm-hmm.
Bonk. Who would...
Parvati would be doing the bonking.
Yeah, sure, Parvati would beat him up. I was trying to think, but they're not both... They aren't both Moon Cancers. Now, if we wanted BB and Kiara to get along, then you'd need Ruler Martha to put him in a headlock. Classic match. Like, I think there are some future characters who are in story stuff that we could maybe use some follow-ups, but that's still a little recent. Does Melt have an interlude? She mustn't she? I know Lip has an interlude, which I don't own her, so I can't do it, but it seems cool. No Melt interlude? That's fair, we could do that. A lot of servants who are, I think, from other stuff can use interludes to kind of comment on their character development and their arcs in those things. Mm-hmm. Like I said with Mordred, where she's got a couple of things that talk about her character development as we go on. Does Lancelot have it? See, here's the thing. We need to move on, because Omega's will literally use the rest of the timer asking, does X have an interlude?
Yeah, so we're going to move on. So thank you, the woman who got blessed by a scanner, for your question. Too big brain for us. We apologize. But we move on to hiding in the vents with a knife. It's Merkavame. And they say, so boys, is it September for you? No. Real
no,
question
you sent
now.
for us. That's how this works.
Any streamers or content creators that you guys are a fan of? Lucky is a fan of many VTubers. But again, he doesn't simp for them. He usually just waits till someone makes a clip or compilation of them. And then he has mega kex.
Yeah, much kex. Though I will say, this is technically against the rules. Well, I suppose it doesn't have to, but it's likely to be out. I guess it's a short question.
It's skirting the line, I would say.
Yes, this isn't directly FGO related. Also, spoilers, no, we don't really follow any FGO creators. We are sub to a few, but we don't actively watch a lot of videos. As I've discussed before anyway, since we do stuff like our own pre-games and our own videos, it's really weird to watch other people's content, because usually we are in the process of making or have made our own version of that content one way or another. So it's like, I don't watch a lot of event guides, even though I know several YouTubers who do good ones, because I've usually already written my own stuff on that, or I'm about to. So it's like, why would I watch somebody tell me the information I've already researched myself twice, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we are subbed to some VTubers. HoloLive English is happening, so if those are actually in English, that might be worth following.
I think we're going to be bilingual.
That'll be interesting. At the very least, able to understand some of it casually, though. Also, some VTubers just go apeshit and stream for like 7 hours, and I don't watch people in my language do that, so no offense, guys. Anybody who has listened, especially to any tangential content or hung out with us in streams and stuff, or offline stuff, will probably know that I and a decent member of the communities follow Achievement Hunter, make many references and jokes. That's a big one for me, and a couple of other Rooster Teeth associated channels. But, yeah, let's, we got some. Actually, heck, some. You can probably look up who we're subbed to on Studio Omega. I at least tangentially follow most of those people one way or another. But, yeah, okay.
But I think that's it. So, thank you, Hiding in the Vents with a Knife. It's Merkavame. We're going to move on to Awaiting Metamorphosis into Mothra, who says, no questions this time. Maybe I'll call one of them next week. I'll just say thank you for all you do. Hope things are going well on each of your ends. Take care. Well, thank you. That was from Awaiting Metamorphosis into Mothra. This next one comes from Bagpipe. I'm pretty sure this is a Arknights reference.
It's an Arknights reference that makes me sassy.
But they say, question. When was the last time you felt burnt out from FGO and just needed to take a break from the game? Lucky will quick answer, particularly never? Like, sometimes I've had to dial...
Full-blown burnout? I don't think so.
No. Like, there has been times when I've had to pull the throttle back and maybe not, like, do as much, like, maybe only do some dailers or something. But, like, see, the interesting thing about, like, FGO is, a lot of the events you can knock out, like, in a couple of days if you become a mad person.
Yeah, barring time gates, most events you can go absolutely ape shit on and finish. Case in point, Lucky on the APOC raids.
Yeah.
Which you finished in, I believe, almost exactly 24 hours.
Yes. But, like, also, like, we were given almost 2 weeks for the Zero rerun here. Was
Yeah.
it? Lucky basically did all of it in 2 days, both of it on stream. I did 40 something missions.
Now, obviously, to do that, I believe you had to spend some apples.
Yeah, but Lucky's not that person who's I must save all my apples.
Well, no, when you get you do get a decent amount back for the event too.
Oh yeah, no, actually, I think I'm still at the same amount because I'm 150 something. I thought I was gonna dip under 150, but no. Once I hit the EX, it's here, have apples. I was okay. So yeah, no, I basically did all of it in 2 days with apples. But as I said, I got enough of a return that I didn't dip too much. So yeah, no. So basically, the rest of the time I've just been slow chilling, maybe do a quest here or there, and then I go play other games like Destiny Child, Arknights, Azure Lane. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily I ever feel burned out, but sometimes I'm all right, I worked hard, I did hard, now I'm gonna relax and play something else. I think that's might be what might help it by having a rotation of games to go through. I can relax on some games and work hard on others, and so it's just a constant rotation of which game I'm working hard at. Mm-hmm. That's what I believe.
I think that's my strength too. Sometimes I feel like the gacha biz, as it were, can get a little too busy. And then that means that you kind of got to let one or two slip. But in general, I rotate between games and projects. I have definitely gone too hard on some events, especially near the end, and then been oh, hey, a gap week, I'm just going to do nothing other than log in and maybe spend natural AP on dailies, maybe. But full-blown burnout, I've never had to actually, take a break from FGO, full-blown. Usually it's just oh man, I went really hard on such and such event. Usually stuff like LoTTos, yes. I gotta, relax after this, and, and reruns are usually pretty good. I'm technically pretty relaxed. I've only got a couple days, and I'm not even done with all my missions, but I've mostly been cruising on natural AP. Though I have spent a few apples, but that's because I have 450 gold apples.
Mega flexing.
I have very few things in FGO I can flex about, but the amount of gold apples I have usually makes people go absolutely batshit, so I like to throw it out. It's just my revenge for all the, Lucky's talked about this, all those people who feel compelled to post every time they get a double SSR, or all those people talking about all the great pulls they get in Arknights while Omega just gets spooked. It's just okay, listen, I might not have some of the things you have, but I have a shitload of apples, so what can you do? But, yeah, so we strategically avoid burnout by rotation. And I highly recommend this system. Just rotate through your hobbies. Don't go whole hog. You'll freak out and die and explode. Burnout is real.
Anyway, thank you, Bagpipe. For your question, we move on to Gotcha Roast, the salty Oni of Terror Time, who asks, are there any servants you would be afraid to be alone with or just fear in general? Lucky says no. This is why you have command seals.
I mean, theoretically, yes, but also, like he said, command seals, most of them are violent towards master. I don't know. Seems fine.
Yeah. No. It's the more I think about it, the servants usually don't want to hurt you. They're either tsundere about it, or they just want to do unspeakable things to you, but they're usually holding back. Mm-hmm. So, thank you, Gotcharos, the salty Oni of Terror Time, for your question. We move on to Seeker of Casino King Bunbun, who says, thanks for the clarifications last week. Hope you all are doing well. We're doing okay. Hope you're all too. Thank you, Seeker of Casino King Bunbun. We move on to looking for sandwiches, but has to keep Lobo company. And they say, hey there, Studio Mega, how's it going? Somewhere. So, whenever Fate Extra Remake comes out, will you guys do a complete playthrough with all 3 servants or just your favorites? Have a good one, y'all.
I mean, I've never played the game at all, so I'll probably do all 3. I don't know how much work that'll be, since it is a full RPG every time, so there might be some breaks in there, but I assume, especially if it's good, I'll want to play it again. That's just built-in replay, guys.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to ask, will we do all of those on channel, on stream, whatever? Not yet. We don't even know what platforms it's for and what format it's in. Or how much of an asshole the game developers will be about the story. Which is a big pain in the butt for streaming, let me tell you what. But anyway, yeah, no, we'll probably play all 3 eventually.
Mm-hmm. So, thank you very much. Looking for sandwiches, but has to keep Lobo company. We move next on to Gahulian God, who asks, since we do have a 3-star story-locked Avenger, who do you think would make a good 3-stock story-locked ruler? No need to worry about powers abilities, just who would make a 3-star good ruler character, and personality-wise. Maybe someone like Gandu would work, and if so, imagine Innocent Monster, Nuke. That's a Civ joke.
Yeah, that's a joke, but almost assuredly it wouldn't be a thing. This is definitely one of those way too many billions of possibilities.
Yeah.
Especially since FGO has, like most classes, hello non-BB moon cancers, played really fast and loose with what qualifies you as a ruler. I think there was a shitpost on the FGO subreddit that got retweeted about qualifying as a ruler, who are supposed to be there to prevent interference in the Holy Grail War, and specifying how most of them would be bad at that or would just punch people. So, yeah, I don't know. There are probably loads of characters, either pre-existing or in history, who could be low-key rulers, but I don't have, like, a ruler OC I've been sitting on who I think would be perfect as a 3-star, but also be a likely candidate. So, Lucky, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams?
Clearly we need a 3-star ruler Kotamine. Clearly.
That'd be pretty funny. Put him in the FP. No, make him story locked. That's right. So he only shows up to spook you in fucking banner rolls.
Yes.
The Animal Man. Perfect. I love it.
Well, like I said, literally he was sent by the church to oversee the Holy Grail War, so technically he fits that slot.
And I don't know if he has a desire for the Holy Grail himself. He's just sassy.
Yeah.
There it is. Ruler Kyrie Kotomine.
Anyway, so Guhulian God, thank you for your question. We move on to the Nocturnal Androphile, who says, Dearest, Lucky and Omega, this is the first time I've addressed you, and I must thank you for your work time listening material. You're welcome. Fun fact, longest time between new mail servant banners from the end to the first of... Hang on, this is wordy. From the end...
Also, I don't think this is grammatically correct.
No, Lucky's gonna get through it. He's gonna do it.
Do it.
From the end of the first to the beginning of the second was 145 days. Assassin Lee to the 4 slot belt. We are already 3/5 into that streak at this point currently, the last one being Voyager. Considering the fact that mail servants are usually linked to story and the pandemic delay, do you think we're gonna break that record?
I mean, possibly. I'm gonna say that the gap between Assassin Lee, which is New Year's next year, to Lost Belt 4 was a very long period. There weren't even a lot of new events, and a lot of them were, a lot of them were Sakura faces and stuff. We went a little bit there. But yeah, I don't know. That's also when we firmly established that we do not we skipped White Day basically. Mm-hmm. That was a Moriarty repeat, which I'm not mad about, though some people are. But also, I would like Moriarty raid ups because that man is limited. How dare?
How dare?
It is entirely possible, but also I don't know. We literally don't know. They have already done some different things. They added Odysseus on White Day as a permanent unit. Mm-hmm. And just before or after that, I think it was after that, it was Dioscuri, who was 2, male and female, and I believe counts as both in terms of traits and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. We are definitely, obviously, yes. They just said that Voyager was there. I know, but I'm just talking about like. They've done different things.
As I said, we probably got a news story event coming up soon here, and whatever they got planned for Halloween? Question mark.
There is also a lot of people are vibrating on whether or not we will actually get Lost World Alter Ego Ashia Doman as playable or somebody soon. So I don't know. We could. Because that could be a thing. That could be the story thing they're following up on. We don't know. We don't know exactly what they're doing. We'll continue to see. We will probably see in a few days.
Yes. So anyway, Nocturnal Androphile, thank you very much. We move on to Zed, just Zed, who says, comment, Hiya, been a few weeks since I posted a mailbag. I managed to protect the smiles of Anastasia and Carmela during this event, and I've been enjoying using them. Hope you two have been enjoying your week. Question. So, with Kiara recently getting a Lily version, old news I know, I'm wondering, what servant in Fate Grand Order would you like to get a Lily form? Conversely, if you can pick a small child servant to get a non-small child form, who would you pick? So I can answer the small child form to get a non-small child form real easy. Usha Wakamaru. It doesn't seem like it.
And Ushi's not even really that small.
Yeah, I know. But still, technically
Ushi Wakamaru is her childhood name.
Yes. Full on Saber Yoshitsune? That'd be baller. Fucking baller. But to have someone who big goes small, I have to actually think about that. Omega, you have any thoughts?
I mean, so I've had a funny idea of quote unquote Nero Lily, who wouldn't be that young, but basically just be young Nero, young mommy's girl Nero, because Nero was made emperor at about age 17, I want to say. And Agrippina was the power behind the throne for a good solid, I think it was 5 or 10 years, something like that. That could be interesting. I know we just had this conversation about 2 Neros earlier, but that could be funny. But outright, were there any big ones? I think we hit most of the major ones. I mean, technically, Prototype Ku's supposed to be kind of younger, but we could do a full-blown Satana thing. Satana. There's like 2 or 3 T's in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fucking Celts. Am I right?
Yeah.
And we have joked about Herc Lily in the past because of just the FSN crew. That would be funny, but I don't have any big wants or desires. Though I would like to throw out, Lucky already threw out Ushiwaka. Let's just go ahead and also remind everybody that Chacha's adult form is Vavoom, quote her. So we could do Avenger.
Yep, Yoda Gear, yes.
Yeah. So that could be fun.
Also, I think it was stated like during, was it Rashomon, that apparently.
Yes, I believe both Ibaraki canonically has morph, and Shuten has said that she doesn't have morph on her sheet, that her current form is deliberate, and that, much like in the myths, the real Shuten Doji is probably like, 15 feet tall or something crazy like that. So, Onis are weird, yo.
So, actually, Lucky's gonna be a mad lad. I would love to see a small Ren servant. Just something like that, because as I said, we do have images of small Ren from Fate Zero. I think that could be entertaining in some way.
She got herself her whole own episode. Maybe she could continue the magical girl quest, because Rin is also a magical girl. Kaleido Ruby became Kaleido Rin in Hollow Ataraxia. Yes. By the way, that's where that comes from. That's not just Prisma. That was a Hollow Ataraxia joke first.
It's probably why Prisma Ilia probably came to existence. Someone probably said, this Kaleido Rin thing is great. We can make this a thing. But anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this, as much fun as it is. So thank you, Zed.
Taking down that clock.
Yep, we have a clock. We only got 8 minutes left. So, we move on from the guy who is pain at having run out of lures, even buying one from the RP shop.
Holy shit, dude.
You're busy. Hello, my wise elders, in this short trip that is life.
Okay.
Dramatic.
I think he just called us old, Lucky.
Well, Lucky is like 33. Now I'm sad. Okay. I have been wondering about some of the class container skills recently, in particular Madness Enhancements, ME, and how it would be possible to apparently add that skill to a servant during the summoning, as was the case of Jalter during the events of Orleans. Do you guys know of any other class container skill that one could possibly add onto a servant during your summoning? Sincerely, the guy with no lures. Off the top of my head, no.
No, I do not believe you can, in your summoning, you can add other than Madness Enhancement. You can deliberately do a summon to summon a Berserker, basically.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of Berserkers get made, basically. I do know that certain class containers and certain servants can add class skills by virtue of just doing stuff. Like, servants who are not necessarily in classes that normally get writing can get writing because they had cavalry experience, and some servants who are not writers will not necessarily get them, even though maybe they should, as evidenced by all those Lancers who don't have writing, and it hurts them a lot because those 2 quick cards, man. But yeah, in this particular instance, I don't think there's anything besides Madness Enhancement that has been shown to be added this way.
So, there's the answer. So thank you, the guy who is pain at having run out of lures even after buying one from the RP shop. We move on to the man in the Konar, watching for the right moment. And they say, hey, Lucky Omega, I was wondering if you guys know of any servants that have a slight or obvious non-bow between their lore and their FGO kit. Like Assassin Imiya being Kurotsugu, the Mantis killer, but not having anything to deal with casters and actually being weak to them. Thanks, guys, and please keep up with the good work. So, while technically, yes, Servant Kurotsugu does not have anything, there is a lovely, very lovely 5-star CE called Origin Bullet, which is literally Kurotsugu having his fucking gun.
Yeah, it's just that Servant Kurotsugu doesn't have any Origin Bullet powers, even if he uses them in his... Well, I mean, he does reduce charge down, but yeah, no, it's... I mean, technically, some people complained about this with the way Siegfried used to be, because it was much more economical to just use Sasaki Kojiro to murder wyverns than to actually use Siegfried, because class advantage. Technically, since we're talking about class advantage, a lot of people complain about Sieg, because he is a caster who is supposed to be strong against dragons, who are usually riders. There are some assassin and berserker enemies who are tagged caster, or tagged dragon, but yeah, they're normally riders. So there are, I think those are the big obvious ones. Nobody really springs to mind trait damage wise. Like, fun fact, I actually talked about this in Wanted Gil. There are sometimes when they code things specifically so that they don't necessarily nombo them. Like, for instance, I believe all the Lancers who have the star attribute and Jean still take extra damage from Enema Elish because they already take half damage, so there's no reason to cripple Gil further.
That's the thing about it. Giving an assassin some sort of class advantage over casters is literally reverses the fucking class advantage thing. So I don't know if they actually wanted to do that.
I mean, Semiramis, dude.
What does Semiramis do?
Double class summon. She negates her class disadvantage.
Yeah, then. Well, that means that Kiritsugu would have to have been an assassin rider to do that.
I mean, yes, but there's precedent for servants who ignore. Sima Yi also does that on her. Is it on her NP or what? I don't.
But this is Kiritsugu, who came out way before all this.
I know, but there are buffs.
Yes,
Kiritsugu was a pocket servant, but like if you're discussing servants who are not necessarily fully compliant with their lore, there are several. There are also completely lore compliant servants who didn't do goo. Original Emiya, regular Emiya is a great example of this. All of his skills are to his lore, but they were not great.
Didn't you say that Kiritsugu was supposed to be a launch servant, or was that?
Yes, I believe they said that they wanted to do him as one of the servants at launch. It just, he wasn't ready, and so they didn't have a good opportunity to add him in until Zero XL because they are lunatics.
Then Lucky will say that Kiritsugu is just unfortunately a product of his time.
Anyway, yes, servants exist, some of them newer, that do not have maybe missed opportunities or seem like they go kind of counteractive to what they do, but usually they do other stuff around it. I don't know if there are any explicit other missed opportunities or whatever, though.
Yeah, like a lot of the times I think a lot of servants missing not don't go against their lore is just they don't have enough time to fit it in with everything else the servant may do. Let's see here. What is the time? Shit. We move.
Nothing. Keep going.
So thank you, the man in the konar, watching for the right moment. We move on to Fox. No, wait, a shark. Since last week you guys talked about Mystic Codes, you thought the best. Now I'll ask which Mystic Codes you think looks best, male or female. Let's hear what you think. Also, I realized that I haven't wished Lucky something, so happy birthday from the Forgetful One. Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago. But thank you. Mystic Codes that look the best?
The summer ones are pretty good. They're pretty fun. I mean, looking good, even though I talked about how I think because they're so generic, I might prefer other ones. The New Year's one are very pretty.
I think I like Mages Association, too.
Mages Association is fun. I like the cape.
Yeah, capes are cool.
Very, very Harry Potter.
Very Harry Potter. Alright. Master, you're a wizard. It's like 10 years too early for that.
Somebody has definitely done that joke before about the Harry Potter. Unfortunately, as iconic as they are, a lot of Mystic Codes are just school uniforms, which is very bland visually. Yeah. You're just like, oh, that's a reference.
I like the Royal Brand one because suits are powerful.
Yes, and both genders wear the suit in that as well. It looks
powerful.
Nice.
Well, other than that,
yeah, no, I think we're on point there.
I will say I like this is Lucky, but I like the Arctic Warfare for the male a lot. Lucky always digs tactical looking stuff, and the female has the tactical too. But I'm always like, why are you wearing a skirt for Arctic Warfare?
Magic. I ain't got to explain shit.
Pretty much. It's
like, that's Da Vinci right now. Like you asked Da Vinci, why do I gotta wear a skirt? And she's like, magic.
Da Vinci would probably later come out and say, oh yes, the fabric, we need to expose some blanks so it like improve its efficiency. And then you're gonna point to the male, and Da Vinci is just gone at that point. It's like Genius Bomb, I'm out. Anyway, thank you, Fox. No, wait, a shark. For your question. We move on to Dave, Lord and Savior. With Camelot movie coming out, who do you think gets an animation update? I personally hoping for 100 face Hassan. Lucky Lucky would love an Arash update.
Yeah, Arash needs one, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously not too much, because one of the benefits of Stella is it's a very basic animation.
It's very quick.
They might record new lines so they could make it go. They could spice it up a little, but probably not the full chant, because he does that for like 5 minutes.
That's a big chant.
Like, it's cool and all. It'll have great build up in the movie film, but I think that would be a shame if they made Stella that much longer, even if it looked cool. But they could probably spice that up a little, because it's really just, we zoom out, Arash yells, "Stella!" A meteor comes, and then he explodes. They could spice that up, and also spice up his regular attacks and stuff. That could be a good one. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much 100 Face will actually be in the movie. I know they are a character, but I don't know how much they'll show up. But that could be an interesting one. I believe Serenity doesn't have an update, so she could maybe get one. Yeah, Arash has what we call default archer animations. No, though, if they want to give him the buff where he just does 5 Stellas in a row, that would be great. Anyway, give him the
yes, RogueRobyn in the chat saying, wait, Arash has regular attacks? I thought all his cards said Stella.
He does have a self-NP battery, so it is very easy to Stella. But no, in the days before they added that with a rank up, which some of you whippersnappers might not remember, you usually had to actually attack with him a little first, unless you were lucky enough to have a K-scope right away, and waiver. But let's see, those are some of the big ones. That could be a good excuse for us to rework Da Vinci's animations and sprite. She has a little bit of flash, but as people have noted with Da Vinci Small, her sprite really needs a rework. The small Da Vinci is literally taller than the tall Da Vinci, even though both of them are wearing high heels one way or another. So, yeah, that's definitely a thing. I know some people say Oz, but I think he's okay. Like, he's got a lot of flair already, even if some of his attacks are just beams. Like, it works for him. It's very on theme. They could maybe try and spice up his NP a little bit. Similarly, I mean, I don't know. Lancer Arturia, got decent stuff. Not really a lot of work there. I will say, I feel like I like Alter's Rongo better than I like full ones, because, especially compared to Camelot, where, and heck, even Gray's version in Case Files, flying up into the air and then meteoring down is a little weird, considering that explicitly in the fiction she's shooting big stonking beams. I don't know where Skyhorse came from, but I don't know if they'll go that far. We do at least have 2 movies, so we'll get a couple updates out of it, probably. I'm going to assume that's going to be it for our time there.
Yep, we have beep, beep, beep.
Okay. And I don't know, some people are talking about, like, Christmas. They could definitely do sprite tunes and refreshes without doing a full-blown update.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to close the mailbag. Oh, the mailbag tag.
Anyway, might we take a quick break?
Yeah, we can take a quick intermission. We'll be right back after the messages. All right, and we're back. We're doing the stuff. So that was Mailbag. I hope you enjoyed it. We missed a few at the end there, but, time constraints. The video is already, at least raw, about an hour and a half long. And now we're going to go through the whole pregame that is Gilfest. So that might take a little bit of work there. Because, obviously, you are all here to hear about Gilfest, probably.
Probably.
Because it's a big deal. A lot of people have been talking about it for forever. They won't shut up about it, some of them. And it's going to be a great time. So, as alluded to above, this year, Battle in New York 2020, a.k.a. Gilfest, as everybody likes to call it, because Gil's on it. He's the front and center. This is our Nerofest this year. It is the Primo LoTTo event, divided up into a qualifiers, main event, and final section. So there will be time gates. You'll have a few days to do the qualifiers, quests, and then the main event, and the final, etc. Like last year, there are a couple of story nodes, including the one where you get the Grail, which is a boss fight versus Gil. But it's mostly farming free quests and CQs, right? So there's a little bit of story to kind of start things off and cap them off so you can get your Grail. And yes, there will be a Grail from this. But mostly free quests. It's mostly a kind of farming and test your might kind of thing. Robin has adequately communicated certain people's ethos in the chat. It's perfect. Can you work that energy into the time codes later, Robin? LoTTo boxes. You could throw some sick reverb on that. Anyway, so that was the story stuff, but there's going to be 5 tiers or zones of free quests per segment, 30 to 40 AP each. Each gives you a gold apple the first time you complete it for a total of 15 in the event. So if you have no fucking gold apples, you'll have 15 after this event. but they are 40 AP at their biggest. Though, not necessarily, not a strict, like, each one is better, just that each one is suited to different drops, usually. You know, the usual stuff. Like, I believe the basic level, 30 AP one will give you all 3 kinds of drops and LoTTos. And then, depending on which one you want to do, you can get different drops at different tiers. Now, these are mostly monoclass/berserker nodes. But sometimes they like to throw you an oddball in the boss round or the mid-boss round. So do actually double-check your class comp before you go in. Actually look at who's in there. Berserkers and extra classes are likely to have high value. As an example, probably the quest you will see a lot of, the 5th quest in the finale, which will be the best place to get golden ticket drops, so you can do the LoTTo. That will be a mostly assassin round, but we'll throw a couple of sabers in there just for kicks. So watch out and use berserkers, I guess. Luckily, none of them are too beefy. You're looking at bosses who will have between 100k and then around 160k HP, with mid-bosses being around 80k. Not super big. Might put a slight crimp in your 3-turn farming style, if that's your thing, but not overly too bad any which way. So the big draw is going to be the LoTTo. So for those of you who are brand new to this, you may be wondering, what's this LoTTo stuff people are talking about? Because there are usually only a couple of LoTTo box events in a year. But basically, you can roll the prize LoTTo using a special drop currency, 2 for 1 pull, 20 for 10 pulls. For the first 10 boxes, and this is important to even let recurring players know, because the number of boxes you can do is not always consistent. But for the first 10 boxes, you can reset once you get the grand prize, but after that, you need to clear the entire box to reset, but you can reset indefinitely. There are 300 items in every box. So you guys can do all that math. You need 600 Tiki Madoos to get all the items, because it's 2 for 1. There you go. So, the grand prize for boxes 1 through 5 is the CE return match, which doesn't really do anything special. It just looks cool, I guess. It's got a Nero on it. She's wearing a tiny crown. There's sadly no damage CE or anything. Box 6 is the crystallized lore, in case you are that one guy who wrote a mailbag who needs more. And then boxes 7 through 10 are going to be a variety of gold foes. They kind of alternate. But yeah, you'll get 2 of each kind of gold foe in 7, 8, 9, and 10. Beyond that, box 11 and beyond, there is no grand prize. You can reset any time, but you should not reset until you get all of them, because there's a lot of good stuff in there. But I would also like to shout out that the first 10 boxes have additional apples in them. They have 1 gold apple and 2 silver apples each. So there's also 10 gold apples in the LoTTo box, so you'll have 25 gold apples to spend if you have no gold apples. Yay! Other than that, each box will contain some snake gems, some homunculi babies, some void dust, and some hero proofs if you need those particular mats. In addition to MP, FP, QP, EXPs, and a lot of skill gems. That's right, skill gems. Each box contains 2 each of blue and red cookies and 1 yellow cookie. So, prepare to go apeshit. I know, while the Zero rerun has probably helped out some of my choices for, stuff and things, I am definitely interested in more skill cookies, because that's always, especially blues, is always a problem for me.
Oh, yeah.
I think because there were some Avenger bosses, I was digging into my moon cancers a little bit, and I was reminded that, my BB and Summer BB both have awful skills, because, BB is the kind of extra class who needs doubles from things, which is rough. I'm having flashbacks at trying to level my Jean skills. Ugh. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. So there's 25 gold EXPs and 15 silver EXPs per box. There's 11k friend points per box, and there's 444... Is that accurate? 4,044 million? I don't know. Sometimes the numbers are wrong, but it says 4,440 million, so I think that's 4,444,000 or 440,000 QP in every box. For those of you who need shitloads of QP, at minimum you're going to get 40 million then, because you have to clear 10 boxes to get all the stuff.
It's a lot.
Assuming you actually don't power through. I know some people power through the grand prize and reset early. You don't have to, and maybe don't. But there's a decent amount of, if you need some resources, LoTTos are good for you.
Very good.
There's also a special gold bullion currency, but we'll come back to that in a second. It's, in fact, literally my next bullet point. Because there's 4 currencies. We joked about this before, but there's gold bullion, which you can only get in the LoTTo. And then there are, what are they called? Hold on. It's, you can upgrade muscle burgers and strong dogs. And I assume the fries are just Gil fries. Because they're fries with a G on them. Yes, there will be lots of these in the thumbnail. Many jokes will be made. Many, many snacks and fast foods. But basically, in the store, you will find the new command codes and command code accessories. So if you need unlockers, removers, etc., you can get all those. Our new CEs are the 3-star Seal of the Red Jeweled Girl. Card gets plus 10% critical damage. 4 Divinely Bound Chains. Card gets plus 15% damage against Divine. And Heaven's Wedge is the 5-star, plus 20% damage against servants, except those who are star. So basically, Anima Elish's bonus trait damage. If only you could put this on NPs, right? But some of these will be fun. And these are the ones that have just been duplicated in JP. So you will get a repeat if you miss them, but also you don't get dupes. So might as well try, right?
Yes.
The other things you will find, unfortunately, there's a huge tragedy here. There's only 4 copies of CKT, Chaldea Kitchen Trio, in the store. There's 2 for the gold, and 1 for each. So you will need a drop to get your max limit break. It's a horrible tragedy, I know. On the other hand, some people will be going absolutely apeshit farming, so maybe it's okay. I don't know. But this is the CE that improves the drop of the LoTTo currency, more gold tickets. Now, admittedly, it's one of those where, like, for purposes of actually doing the farming, you don't want a limit break because it's +1 per CE and +2 only if it's MLB. So you want 5 copies so you can go +5 instead of +2, but still, it's always sad when they make you farm for CE drops. Also, in the rest of the store, you will find CE XPs, which also you should save at least 1 copy of because it's got Shiba on it and it is adorable. $1 shop. I will beam this to Lucky. I don't know if he's made the thumbnail yet, but he might want to put it in there.
I was actually thinking of saving Gilfest CEs for Gilfest.
We might, though there are a few, because there's Gotcha CEs and Event CEs. We'll figure it out. That tells me that Lucky has not made the thumbnail yet, so we'll figure it out soon. Where was I in my notes? I've accidentally gotten some of my tabs confuzzled. Here we are. I was talking about what you can get in the shop. So, in addition to all that stuff I mentioned, you can also get foes, gunpowder, knight's medals, spinal fluids, needles, feathers, grease, giant rings, dragon scales, and lamps, along with archer, rider, and caster statues, if you still need more after Fate Zero. Yay, statues. Some people are probably going to be real big about that gunpowder still, and those giant rings. But I believe feathers are always also a popular choice.
Yes.
So, as mentioned earlier, the banner will be Gilgamesh, Queen of Sheba, and Caesar. Good old Caesar. Why will make sense later. But they'll be in there. So Gil is limited and Sheba is story locked. If you haven't secured those units, this can be a decent banner to pull. You've got a couple of months before anything else. Well, you've got a fullish month before Season Night comes out, and she's story locked later. So you've got some time before some stuff comes up if you're willing to spend. There will also be the usual event CEs, which increase your drops. I definitely will have to spend some tickets because I'm going to need that 4-star Penth CE. It is the bestestest. But the 3-star is the Gil and Cleopatra CE, which a lot of people have expressed good opinions on. And the 5-star is the Gilgamesh in New York, which is Gil looking like a cool guy with his leather coat. The coolest guy. So there you go. There's your banner. And of course, here's the thing, guys. This is an exhibition event. It's Neurofest. This means ludicrous challenge quests. I'm not kidding. These are this year. I feel like some of these are less unfair, but they're still just absolutely bananas. Like, they've gone even crazier this year, if you thought that was possible. Now, doing each challenge quest will give you 5 of a mat and a ticket. It's cool, but also very tough. Especially if you are a newer player, do not feel bad if you cannot do these. These are literally billed as high difficulty quests for experienced players. They are supposed to shenanigans people who have been playing the game for 3 years, let alone newbies. So, obviously, as Lucky joked about in the intro, some people will like to flex on these. But I feel like some of these are deliberately built to be anti-flex. You know, there's a lot of wiggle room in here. So, let's run them through. Lucky, are you prepared?
I'm not prepared.
You probably aren't. So first, Oh, by the way, speaking of servants in Camelot who need an animation update, the first challenge quest is Tawara Toda. You forgot he existed. He's here to ruin your whole goddamn day. He has 1.5 and 3 million HP bars. That's right, 4.5 million total HP. When he appears, he's gonna debuff your party's max HP because of hunger. Also, after his first bar is gone, after you chew through 1.5 million HP, he's gonna get a permanent buster buff, and his offense cannot be debuffed. Have fun with that one. So each turn, he sets up a debuff on himself, which procs when he's hit with a buster attack. This will apply a debuff to one of your servants. It depends on which one he's set up, but they're vaguely themed around the 3 colors of card. Based on what debuff he puts on you when you hit him with a buster card, when he hits you with a certain attack, your servant will have one of their card types sealed. That's right, you will be literally not allowed to use certain card types. Buster, Quick, or Arts. I believe this lasts 1 turn. But they will get their defense reduced, but he will increase their max HP, because he's feeding you. There's a lot of rice ball jokes here. But depending on which mode he's in and which debuffs you have, him actually hitting you can consume the debuff, which gives your servant a buff in turn. It's very fucky. You should probably look at it to kind of figure out what the names are, but he's got a general, like I said, like a general Buster Quick Arts theme, and basically he will slam these debuffs on you, and then he will attack you, which will consume the debuff, or you'll attack him, whatever, and that will give you buffs. There's a lot of trading in these challenge quests you'll notice going forward. Second is Leonidas and 300 Spartans. Yes, literally 300 Spartans. So Leonidas has big defense and damage resistance, which will be reduced by killing Spartans, but the Spartans can activate debuffs on death if you break Leonidas' HP bars, which you may entirely do, because remember, he has a taunt NP, and a taunt skill, I believe. To make up for this, his individual HP is pretty low. He only has 2 HP bars. One is 220k, the next is 730k, so I believe that's just under 1 million HP total between the two. And I believe all the Spartans are Lancers, so just bring some Sabers. Just be prepared for some weird shenanigans, and some weird taunt stuff. Arguably, I think the Leonidas one sounds like the easiest. It's just you gotta kill 300 fucking Spartans. And I'm pretty sure I didn't see any notes that the battle ends when you job Leonidas, so I think you have to kill all 300. Have fun. So, number 3. This is gonna be a fucker. This is what I like to call Super Ezo. He gains resistance and NP defense based on the last card which hit him, so if you hit him with an Arts card last, he will be Arts protected. And then, based on what he's doing, he will trigger a variety of buffs on his turn for his first HP bar. In his second HP bar, he just gains stack of humanoid trait damage per turn, which is reset when he kills one of your party. Have fun with that. Yes, he literally just activates Superman Slayer mode and gets stronger and stronger until he eventually kills somebody, and then it resets. His first HP bar is a measly 350k HP, but the second one is 1.2 million. So he's got about 1.5 million HP total. That's gonna be real fun. You ready for the next? So, this fourth one, match 4, I'm pretty sure is deliberately meant to sass all those people who yell about how terrain effect skills are bad. Because it's gonna be Summer Nobu, Jaguar Man, and Summer Jean, each with 200k and 300k HP bars. Each is associated with a terrain type. Duh. Fire, forest, and water. They are automatically resistant to the associated card type, so Nobu, Fire, is resistant to Buster, Jaguar Man, Forest, is resistant to Quick, Jean, Water, is resistant to Arts. The last one you hit in a turn, if they are still alive, will change the terrain type to her type, and while they're on their associated field, they get buffs like NP damage and attack up, but while they are not on their field type, their NP damage goes down, so you can strategically kind of be like, oh shit, Jaguar Man's about to pop her NP, let's bully Nobu for a turn, etc. However, after you break their first HP bar, when they activate their terrain change, they will change to 2 types of terrain. I believe Nobu does Fire Forest, Jaguar does Water Forest, and then does Jean do Water Fire? I don't know. I don't know the exact combos. She might also do Water Fire.
I'm 2 fields now.
Yeah, basically that's their thing. I'm 2 fields now. So, this one doesn't seem super hard depending on what the scaling of their damage buffs are. It's just very fucky and tactical. So, the 5th one is pretty funny. This is going to be versus Shiba, the Lone Shark, and some assassin ads. Some Yakuza leg breakers. She has a buff called Money Wall, which gives her a shitload of damage resistance and is stacked 15 times. And if she's alone at the start of the battle or when you break a bar, she summons her mobs back. It's that kind of fight. I believe this was kind of like the Setsubun challenge quest. She'll just summon back some of her leg breakers. At the start of her turn, she will loan one of your servants a buff, which you repay by using the buff. If you fail to repay the loan, she gives you a debuff based on what it is. But when you pay it back, her defense stack is removed. The more bars you break, and the further you get into her HP, the more variety of loans she gives. Like, starting on the second bar, she'll start giving card-type buffs, and then the last one, she does stuff like NP gain, etc. And she has 3 HP bars. They are 450k, 750k, and 1.1 million HP bars, so around 2 million total. So this one, again, is one of those things where it's like, it's tough but fair. Like, if you actually get to pay back her loans, you will get positive buffs, and you will eat through her defense. But if you don't, if you get stuck where she, like, hands a servant, like, triple NP buffs, and it's not your NP turn, you're going to be like, well, I'm taking a debuff. Now, here's another freaky one. Number 6 is going to be MHXA and many, many snack mobs. Now, this wasn't in the explicit notes on the FGO fandom wiki, but the way they phrased it is that sometimes she will kill these guys, so I assume at like the end of her turn, she eats, quote-unquote, a random mob or something. Basically, depending on who kills the mob, either you or MHXA will get a buff or a debuff. Some of the foods are bad. It results in a specific one. There's specific numbers of enemies, of snack enemies, and there's too many to list. Holy shit, guys. It's just bananas. You're gonna have to look it up, but it's crazy. There's some that, like one of them can give MHXA permanent, no longer has class weaknesses.
Oh, Jesus.
But it charms her for 1 turn. And if you kill it, you just get charmed for 1 turn. So you want to kill it before she kills it, so you just take the stun turn, and she doesn't get her damage reduced. But there's a lot of weird fun ones in there. Like I said, that's going to be one of those where you're probably going to need a guide just because there's so many food types. And when you break her HP bar, she gains lots of buffs that stack over time, but will slowly count down to losing a lot of HP over several turns, which is good because her first HP bar is only 400k HP. Her second HP bar is 10 million.
Jesus.
So this is probably going to be an endurance run where you're trying to steal buffs so she doesn't murder you until her countdown starts, because when it does, she takes 2 million damage a turn. So either you go crazy apeshit and just power through her 10 million HP, or you wait it out for like 5 turns until she basically will die immediately. Because even at 10 million HP, 2 million a turn is fast. And then the finale, number 7, it's the usual boss rush clusterfuck of specific buffs and things would activate when they die. You will need a guide. I'm just telling you right now, you're going to need a guide. There's so much stuff, guys. Oh my god. There's like... Okay, hold on. I will list who it involves. It will involve Nero Bride, Billy, Bunyan, Anna Mary, Jekyll and Hyde, so Jekyll, who turns into Hyde, Medusa Lily, and Caskill. That's, what, like, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? 8 of them? I think it's like 8 guys. Like 3 rows. It's crazy nuts. These are the challenge quests I hate the most, and the least likely one I am to even bother trying. But it's out there, and basically what I mean by, like, the specific buffs, when they are on the field, these servants usually have a specific buff that does something. Like, for instance, Billy will inflict burn with his basic attacks, but when they die, they also prop a buff for everybody who's left. So, like, if Nero dies, she gives, like, everybody guts or something. And one of them, I think, is it Medusa Lily? Somebody in there, if you kill them, no, it's Bunyan, I think. If you kill them, she restores all remaining allies to full HP or something crazy. So you basically have to pick and choose who you're killing very carefully, so you don't just shoot yourself on the foot and make it impossible. But yeah, crazy strong. But yeah, like I said, you'll probably need a guide to look up what effects do what when. And if you can do it, more power to you. I know a lot of people, like he alluded to at the top, like to flex on these. If you do, have fun. Yeah. And that's the pregame, basically, everybody. So my final bullet point is please LoTTo responsibly.
I'm telling you right now, people are not going to LoTTo responsibly. I hear a lot of people it's like, oh yeah, I'm going for minimum 100 boxes. I'm just all like, madness.
Yeah, some people are, keeping in mind, remember, that's 10 times the number of minimum boxes, and after box 10, you cannot refresh until you do all 300 items.
But, as I said, as mad as they are not complete. They are not wrong in the fact that this is a great time to stock up on mats, XPs.
Yes. And this is usually what this event is for. This is like, especially after like summers and anniversaries and stuff. Usually they have story chapters kind of in the middle of the year too. They usually give you this festival event, which is a great opportunity to stock up on EXPs, skill gems, etc. Maybe round out some of those servants you haven't. I don't think I've really got anybody who's hurting for EXP levels currently, but I could definitely use those skill gems. I talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Skill cookies are a thing that go by pretty fast, especially the lower rarities, because those usually don't involve any additional mats, so you feel like you can spend them pretty quick. But yeah, this would be a good opportunity to catch up, prep yourself, because we do have a new Halloween coming after the rerun of Halloween, and we do have then Lost Belt 3 only a couple of months away. So this will be a good opportunity to stock up, refresh your coffers, get some stuff, refresh some QP, refresh some, EXPs, all the stuff you're low on. And if you want, you can try and flex a little, go a little apeshit. I definitely feel like some of these challenge quests are easier than some of the usual ones. Like, I know people have been talking about how batshit crazy they were and hard, but honestly, a lot of these seem more balanced out. Like, there's a lot of give and take, like I said. It's just that I'm sure that for a lot of people playing this 2 years ago who were in the English community, it was obviously hard to follow because it was in Japanese. Because these are very complex, a lot of them. But yeah, I'll be interested in trying a few of them. Like I said, the 7th one, the finale, I just don't usually bother because, God, that's such a pain in the butt. I think I did the first one only, and I cheesed that by borrowing somebody's coup altar on like friend support, which was the pro strat. But yeah, okay. That's it for the pregame. That took us a solid about 20-30 minutes.
Yeah.
We're coming up on 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So stretching. That is the pregame, for which the show is named.
Yeah.
Stretching. All right. So we got a couple more faffy things we could talk about. I looked this up earlier. I did want to throw out. We are still in the midst of our monthly Patreon topic poll. That's still ongoing for about 5 more days at the time this is released to patrons anyway. And it only has like 16 or 17 viewers, so I think we still got a few more people who can vote. Be sure to check that out. It's under the BTS tag if you're looking for it on our Patreon. And currently, Magic Circuits and Magic Crests, kind of a follow-up to last month's topic, is winning, but it's still entirely possible that there could be some catch-up. I believe, what's my second one there? Yeah, What Are Phantasmal Species is currently in a somewhat distant second, but there could be a catch-up. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Robin threw out none of these CQs involve Gramps-san who can instant kill you for funds. Yes. I believe that is the thing they have avoided. There's not a lot of like instant death tricks. There's just enemies either have abilities which stack over time, or just, like I said, there's a lot of give and take and a lot of strategy. You may have to engage your brain, guys. You can't just brr green card double Scotty. Like, I'm pretty sure that won't work.
Probably not.
Though I will say, it does seem like some of these quests, like especially the first one, is very much more rude to Buster. Like a lot of the bad stuff keys off when you hit Tora Tota with Buster, but he can seal quick or arts cards. So you gotta think about your strategy a little, or don't. It's just tickets. I know a lot of people are like, don't just say it's just tickets. Tickets are great. Yes, I admit that, but also some people are just like, it's just tickets, and it's just 5 of them at. It's one of those things that it's a good bonus, but like I said at the beginning, don't freak out if you can't do them.
Like I said, like the amount of headache I might have to go to get through some of those is probably not worth the ticket, in my opinion. Especially when that ticket is most likely going to be like a 3-star CE. Just like,
yeah, like these are where the concept of challenge quests come from. Like that was the Nerofez exhibition quests were like the first real challenge quests. So they are meant to actually be challenging and a little bit of a show off, and challenging in a more serious way than a lot of challenge quests, which are just, hey, fight 9 servants who have different classes, go. I'm not jaded or anything about boss rush CQs. They're not the worst CQ ever. They are. I'm being facetious. I do think they kind of suck. That could definitely work. Alter Egos is a good choice for the Shiva one. I don't know though. She's got her second HP bar is huge. No, actually, she's got 3 HP bars. That's right. Yeah. And her last one's 1.1 million. And remember, there's no damage bonus CE, so
there isn't.
Nope. As far as I can tell, there's not. I can double check my sources, but I'm pretty sure Return Battle just gives you Guts and a critical up. Like, it's just CE. Checking the event CEs.
Yeah, what about Return Match? It says damage 100 plus during battle in New York.
Does it actually? When I looked that up earlier, it did not mention that. Let me double check. Well, it does say it as an event bonus, so that's pretty good. All right. You do get all 5 of those in the LoTTo.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I was wrong about that, or somebody just didn't add that yet. Sometimes they do skip damage.
Yeah, but as I said, Return Match doesn't give you MP gen to start with, so you gotta pick and choose.
Yeah, it's one of those careful things.
There's always a Guts in these fucking vests.
It's a Nero thing. She loves
It
Guts. Now the effect of Chaldea Kitchen Trio, CKT, that's just a solid all around good CE.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just give you the Fate Grand Order fandom wiki usually has more complete information, but their formatting is just dog shit most of the time.
Mm.
So many tabs. But that one gives you Arts Quick 15% and then MP Damage 15. That's a fun one.
Oh, yeah.
Also, it's got Tomacat side boob in it.
Yes, it does. Remember we talked about Tomacat being a lunatic? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, also Naked Apron. Also, technically, yes. I guess it's flavor text is great. Technically, it's Kitchen Truck because it's like a food truck. But they also call it the Unlimited Burger Works in the flavor text. That's adorable.
I do like how it's Musashi and Nihime in there.
By the way, remember when I talked about that?
What is that condiments? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the hot dog. There's yellow, blue, red, and green condiments on this hot dog.
I don't know. I'm guessing it's just a joke thing. I'm not an expert in condiments, actually. I don't usually.
Oh, that's why they call it Unlimited Burger Works. They have Unlimited Burger Works on their apron. That's why.
Yeah,
that's cute. That's super cute.
I'm guessing the coloration is so that they can make like an Arts Quick joke. Green could be, what is it? Horseradish? Is that greenish? There's definitely a greenish thing you put with hot dog or eat with hot dog. Blue though is just fucking apeshit.
Well, green is usually relish, but
relish.
Yeah,
that's right. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Again, like I said, not a condiment expert. I usually just eat the plain dog.
Lucky it's wild with his hot dogs.
But no, blue is just being lunatic. There's no... Blue is a very weird natural color as is. But yeah, so remember how I talked about that one final one, the one you're going to see a lot of because it's for the LoTTo currency that involves sabers and assassins? That's Musashi and Hime in the last round. References, kids. References. Did I not do my MP thing on this? I'm getting very out of focus doing this map farming. Anyway, doesn't matter. So we talked about the poll. We talked about some more BNY. And yes, most people shorten it to Gilfest because Battle in New York 2020 is long. But yeah, it's officially Battle in New York. Not Escape, Battle. And then I guess the only other thing is just we already did our speculation for NA. After this, it should immediately, because it ends like on the 30th, should roll right into Halloween rerun. And then we just don't know what JP's going to do. I mean, we never really know, but sometimes you have a suspicion, right? Or they'll plan out stuff.
Honestly, after they get done with this, they might go into whatever they got planned for whatever fest, because the fest is usually around this time.
Yes, the festival is kind of one of their early autumn kind of tent poles. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Like that's one of the big events they always do is some kind of LoTTo festival. You know, it'll be a little sad to have that right after a million downloads event with double suck and half AP and stuff, but they've done that before too. So
yeah. So who knows? Maybe we will get Aussie Fest because I said we've had 2 Nero Fests, now we've had 2 Gilfests. And I said I don't know the full story, but apparently shit went down during the last Gilfest. So
well, yeah, that was also some people joked about it being Ishtar Fest because she got a costume and a banner, I think, on it.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're definitely doing some interesting stuff. We'll just see if that crops up immediately. That might be a little early. I don't know. They might stick something in there, but we are in a filler. And the question will just be, it will probably be a brand new event, but it might not.
We don't know.
We just don't know. Like I said, if it's the Samba rerun, I'm going to laugh and laugh.
Actually, yeah, I think a rerun would be the appropriate amount of time.
That would definitely buy just enough time, but they might not also because the fests are usually story light. So that would be very easy to do in this current climate, I think. Mm-hmm. They just have to know what the setup is and kind of the stuff and then just do it. We know that they're planning on releasing one more, at least, story chapter later this year. They have not confirmed Lost Belt 6. It's probably going to be the thing we talked about that'll be kind of a 0.5. We probably won't be seeing Lost Belt 6 until early next year because of all the delays and stuff. But they are planning at least one more story release this year. In addition to, we will probably, even if it's not a Halloween event, we will probably get a new event around Halloween time, and we will probably get some kind of Christmas event. But yeah, that's all the speculating I got.
Yeah, no, I'll see it for Lucky.
No, Luff. It's they've explicitly said this is going to be Lost Belt 4 related, I believe. But okay. That's everything. I think we asked for some comments in there, but I think we've spent the show, done the thing, done all the stuff, and hopefully, you guys liked it and think it was cool. Before we wrap up, I have one final funny bit of trivia to talk about, because I was thinking about our current thumbnail and our past thumbnail. Because I've talked before on this episode and the Wanted Gilgamesh, which, like I said, you should still consider checking out, that Gil gets rate-ups very frequently. And actually, it's funny. So, I believe it was in the prelude to Fate Zero collab, but still around Fate Zero collab, Gil got a rate-up. He did not get a rate-up on the rerun, because there's only a couple of, actually, they got a lot of SSRs in there. I think it was all the same ones that they did during the actual event, though. But now he's coming right back in Gilfest, so it's funny. We should also, this is something I don't know if we'll do, but usually North America sneaks a Gil in at Thanksgiving. That'll still be relatively close, but not that much farther from New Year's, so I don't know if we'll keep him in the Thanksgiving scrum. Which is also an important thing to remember about America. They usually do go to an effort to make the Thanksgiving, week or weekend a big deal. Yep. That might be our gap between New Christmas and Lost Belt 3, for instance, because that's, late in there.
That's true.
But okay, we're done. We're going to wrap up.
Yeah.
So, if you watch this video on YouTube, be sure to give it a like if you liked it. If you have any comments, any of your commentos, leave them in the comment section down below. You can also hit us up on our Discord. That link is in the description and on our channel page as always. And of course, if you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you can always get our latest videos. Check out videos like Wanted, other stuff we do, things, bits, bobs, randos. We love it. And of course, even if you're already subscribed, consider hitting that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video, like those videos we post. Also consider dropping us a membership and joining the channel. That link is down below. You can get access to emotes, membership badges, other stuff. It's cool. It's great. It supports us. Speaking of supporting us, like I said at the front of the show, you can also support us on Patreon. You can access this episode in audio format, downloadable for as little as $1 a month or $10 a year, because blah, 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 annual memberships. Which I will continue to shill for a little bit because people are biting. It's cool. It's great. Try it out. But you can get the episode in downloadable. You get our entire back catalog. You get access to other stuff at higher levels, like voting in that poll I mentioned. And it also helps support us and help us out. And so we will see you next week for more Let's Talk FGO. I don't know, but I'm going to assume that Lucky will probably at some point stream punching LoTTo boxes.
Probably on Thursday, yeah.
If you guys are into that, which you seem to be.
I don't know. I feel like people are going to want me to do challenge quests, and Lucky's going to be like, oh.
Well, here's the thing. I think the challenge quests aren't unlocked until the second week anyway. There was a by the way, we should probably mention that as a trivia thing. There was a delay. That's right, Robin. I'm putting a trivia note in the outro.
Suffer.
There was, I believe, a delay with the releasing of some of the challenge quests. GP got some apples and SQ out of it. I'm assuming we probably won't have that problem. But yeah, I believe that they don't start releasing right away. They wait a couple of days. So yeah, you might not even be able to do that by next Thursday.
Okay.
Because the event doesn't start until Monday. But yeah, that's why you should sub so you can catch on to, streams, other stuff, checking out Let's Talk FGO next week, and checking out our other show, What's Up? Nintendo said some more things. They keep saying things. We'll probably have some spicy thoughts and feelings on that, and some other stuff going on.
No, Lucky got a small list of things to talk about.
That's good. I got another couple things I could mention too. So check out our show, What's Up with Omega and Lucky. We do it every week. It's about basically all the other stuff we do that's not FGO related. Including other gacha games we talked about, and lots of other thingus baringus. Listen, I like rhyming. And that's the show. Okay, Rhyme Bomb, let's go!